Well, we have made it. We've made it to the end of the Ed Collab gathering. Um, the Ed Collab gatherings have always been online. They have always been our gift to the education community here from the Ed Collab. They've always been a way that we have hoped to uh, have our global community of literacy educators everywhere learn from one another and connect and share. Uh, but I don't know, there's just something about today and right now that felt for me particularly needed and necessary. And I saw some of that coming up in tweets today. So thank you for being a part of it. Seeing as you now know me in my pajamas and here shoved in the corner of my apartment, um, we're friends now, so we probably have already been friends. But one thing I can share is, and I tweeted this earlier, just as the day was getting started, I had already turned off my camera with you. You were on to the incredible opening keynote we had this morning with Disrupt Text. But I started crying. The tears were coming down. Um, but what I recognized was that those tears were different than the ones I've been having these last many weeks. And for some of you in other parts of the world, it's been the last many months. Um, the tears were hopeful. When I've allowed myself to cry at times when this has all felt overwhelming and it's hard to process, it's been hopeless tears. I'm certain of that because I felt something different this morning. And I wish that gift for all of you. I hope you've had it at times. Maybe today was a part of that, like it was for me. Maybe it was something else. Uh, but if you haven't had those hopeful tears yet, I hope I can let you know that they can come too, because that's what happened to me. Just thinking about what all of you have done to put on today, and so actually, as I'm rambling, should lead to some thank yous you can get on with. The reason why you're here to see the keynote, but as I think about what all of you have done to be a part of today, and how you have worked in many ways to make this day special and important. Um, I just felt so much hope. Like there's a next step that we can take. And when it's all of you taking that next step in the ways that we take it together, I feel hopeful. So just some thank yous first for today specifically. So thank you to all of our presenters who made time to record themselves within their busy lives and schedules that were happening, and submitting proposals way back when and working with tech team volunteers in order to put that up. Thank you for sharing all of your joy today with us, your expertise, just everything you did today brought so much joy to so many. I have to look back up to say thank you to everyone who stopped in today. So I'll grab that in a second here. I just don't want to forget. Okay, there it is. I also want to have a very special thank you, and I hope you join me in this, in thanking the tech team. So the tech team are volunteers. They are all educators who have full busy lives with every other thing that they're doing. And they have given their time to help make sure that today goes the absolute best that it possibly can. And so the tech team has been heroically, especially in this quick new way of figuring out how we do things today, have heroically been led by Carolyn, Jessica, and Amy Kaiser is humble and doesn't have her bio and face up here, but she's our administrative assistant and was a huge help on this as well too. So thank you, Amy, as well. This team of women make this day possible. Carolyn, Jessica, Amy, you're going to make me cry again. I cannot thank you enough for all that you do to lead us with care and heart and grace and problem solving and brilliance. Thank you. Our tech team always changes. People are able to volunteer one Saturday and then a different time they don't, and then they come back another time. So we always see a new family. But for today, please join me in thanking these incredible people who have given their times amidst everything else that they've done, including Claire, who also today and was a tech team member. On the top of our webpage, if you go onto, oh, I think it's information here, I'm going to look right now. If you go into About, there is a link to All-Star Tech Team. You'll be taken to a page that has everyone's names and bios. Most importantly, and please join me in this, also has everyone's Twitter handles, every single person. And so we've likely already tweeted them out. A big thank you as well too. But please go to that page, send a thanks to anyone or to all of them. If you were a presenter, you can thank them again. Just let them know if it wasn't for tech team members, today wouldn't happen. Also a reminder, if you felt joy at any point today, which I certainly did to the point of actual tears, please at some point today, if you can, or soon, you might visit us at the charity link on our website that will take you to both descriptions of the charities that our two keynotes, our opening and closing keynotes, have adopted, as well as links to those charities pages. From there, you can make a direct donation of any size, but take what you would have paid to join today, a conference like this, and pay that joy forward. As I said this morning, if you have a different charity, something that's helping your local community right now as you and the people around you are living inside of this pandemic, or if there's other charities that you want to give to, pay the joy forward there. And it doesn't have to be monetary either. There may be ways that you can volunteer either with a charity or just find a way to share your gifts with others. Anything you can do to take the joy you felt today will be very meaningful to us here at the EdCollab. So thank you for that. Also, before we go, you can now, if you'd like to, after, well, not now, after Tiffany's keynote, you can click over to pre-session if you haven't seen it yet. If you're interested in other ways that you can learn with the Educator Collaborative, that's the place where I describe all the things that we're doing right now to support you as you're virtually learning. These are things that we are happy to support you with, and I have lots of disclaimers and other things that I say there, including, like I said this morning, none of this is normal. None of this is true distance learning. None of this is true teaching and learning. This is an emergency situation that we're trying to hold each other as carefully as we can inside of. But we think there's ways we can be in conversation with you and help with that. So please feel free to go there to learn more about us and some ways that you can learn with us. Some are for free, some are for fee. The for fee is so that we can celebrate and support the expertise that the members of our community have and to help them as well during this time. Along with learning, two announcements to make that aren't so great, but they're understandable, and then two announcements to make that are exciting and wonderful. So first, the not as great news. So two things are going to be postponed for us in 2020 due to everything that's going on right now, due to the pandemic. Those are the Global Kind Project. So the Global Kind Project will stay live, but it will not be updated for 2020. Instead, that will just stay as it was in 2019. It's still live, all of the resources are there. And if there's anything that you'd like to pull from the work that we've done there to use with your class in May, you certainly can. You also could sign up if you haven't before. There's some automated emails that walk you through 4 different weeks. It's right on our main website, theeducatorcollaborative.com, and there you will find links to the Global Kind Project, and you can use our resources. We're not updating it because our family is in this with you, and so all of our members are struggling with life and everything else. We also recognize that you as educators have your plates full up to here with free stuff. So thank you for joining us today, but that's going to be postponed. Another thing that will be postponed until not this school year, but the next school year is our associates program. I know, I'm so sorry. I can hear some of you that have emailed and asked and said, when are the applications coming? It doesn't mean the program is gone. Instead, what we've decided to do, and we've already let them know, is our current cohort of associates have had a big chunk of their year now chopped off, and we don't know what's going to happen as fall starts up again. We all may be going back to school as normal. Maybe only some of us will, maybe none of us will. We don't know what fall will bring. So the current associate cohort will continue with us into the next year, anyone that would like to. Then a year from now is when all things willing, just positive energy, we will announce that we'll be accepting new applications for the new cohort. It just felt like the right thing to do, to continue with this family that was disrupted. And then a year from now, we hope to invite you back. So sorry for that for everyone, but it just felt like it was the right thing to do. So that was the not so great news. Now the really great news, drum roll please. Our fall gathering, our gatherings always happen every September and April. Our fall gathering is taking place on September 19th with our opening keynote, Sadia Faruqi. We are so excited. Sadia is the author of many middle grade books, early readers, as well as an adult novel. Here are a bunch of her Yasmin series that are incredible. As Sadia has said, Yasmin is, while the publisher likes to say is like maybe second, third, maybe fourth grade-ish, although I would even say first grade could probably read it too. It's certainly something that everyone can read and learn from. Yasmin is a spunky girl who does incredible things. The series is beautiful. This is just 3 of the many. We are just so delighted that Sadia will be joining us to be our opening keynote on that day. I'm going to put back up her information. We would love for you to join us in tweeting her saying, yay, we're so excited to see you. And please mark your calendars for September 19th. And that includes you. This day is made up of educators from around the world who volunteer their time to be part of the tech team or who lead sessions. The incredible sessions that you saw today could be you too. Proposals are open right now. If you haven't refreshed your page in a while, refresh the page and then look at the top. There's a proposal link. You can just click on that. You'll be taken to proposals. The proposals are open through June 1st. On that page, you'll see proposals for both sessions. So if you'd like to present a session on September 19th with Sadia as our amazing keynote, you're welcome to do that. You also could fill out an application to be a tech team member. We are so dependent on our tech team and your gifts and your ability to help make this day possible. So if you're interested in that at all, please submit an application, or you can tweet any of those people from the about us and then click on tech team and you can tweet them directly and ask them about the experience. So just some final thoughts before we move to our closing keynote. And I give you a brief introduction there as well. I think one thing we have to do is we have to trust and know and believe, even against maybe any faith that you may or may not have in your heart right now, that things will improve and change. I think we have to know right now that we can chart a new course. And I think we have to know right now that that new course can't be the same course. That new course can't be the way it used to be. That new course has to grow and learn both within our classrooms and within our schools and within our society. I know it's hard to take in what's happening right now. I find it impossible too. I just cried this morning, as I told you. But we can't be too numb to it to not learn from it. One very quick way that you can start charting a course is actually quite simple because it involves the gathering right here. And I want to suggest this to you. Think about the sessions that you saw today. Think about both the lessons that they gave you, but more importantly, think about the choices you made of who you saw today. Why did you pick who you picked? Were they people you heard before? Were they topics that you were interested in? Who made up your roster of sessions that you wanted to listen to? And perhaps a way that you can begin to chart a course, a personal course even, is to go back through and see, are there sessions you maybe never would have listened to or weren't your first choice because perhaps it was a topic you didn't know that you'd want to learn anything about? Or maybe it's a presenter whose name you didn't recognize. And so you thought, well, I'll go to this other person instead. Or maybe there was a grade level that didn't matter to you, wasn't really in your purview, so you didn't really want to watch it. These aren't necessarily bad decisions that you made. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so is presenting. I want to hear from them. Or this topic is amazing. But what I want to suggest is that one of the ways that we have to chart this new course is by opening doors that we haven't opened before, by going to people and places and ideas that we haven't. And to especially my fellow white educator friends, there's many times where that means that we are not going to Black, Indigenous, and other people of color for our learning. And so for us, that might be work we need to do. And again, I'm not talking to all of you individually. Maybe some of you charted your course that way today. But as you reflect, if you think, oh, wow, I saw a lot of the faces I normally see, the EdClap gathering is now recorded for posterity and will be up on our site until our next one on September 19th. So I invite you, as a way to chart a new course, is to see who could I learn from? What could I learn from? What ideas could I gather that perhaps I hadn't before? And then that could be just one of many ways you open doors that perhaps you haven't before. So without further ado, I want to introduce, and then we're going to do that switch we did this morning of, I'll ask you to then go back to the website and refresh so you can actually watch her keynote. But we are so honored to have as our bookend to today, Tiffany Jewell joining us. If we were on screen together, we could be talking right now, as well as talking about our children and everything else that we often are messaging each other about. But hi, Tiffany. Tiffany Jewell is the author of this incredible book, which again, the publisher says it's like young adult, middle grady. It's actually for everyone, adults included. This book is Anti-Racist is a beautifully, I mean, just incredible. You likely have a copy already, but if you don't, just look at these illustrations. Incredibly designed by Aurelia Duvand. Just beautiful, amazing, page after page is stunning to look at. And then all of Tiffany's words are clear, crisp, hard, they don't hold back, doable, practical. It's maybe written for a young adult audience, but it's really written for us too. This book is Anti-Racist is an absolute guide that can support you, students, family members in thinking about your place in our society, the ways that you are actively anti-racist or not. Oops, Yasmin fell down, and ways that you can develop your biased anti-racist lens in a really powerful way. So thank you, Tiffany, for this book. And now if you'll join me, I just right now am hitting update on our webpage. I see the little thing scrolling. In just a moment, here we go. I'm going to clear the page. Okay, so any second now, you should be able to refresh your closing page and you'll see Tiffany's keynote below. Thank you for all that you do for your colleagues, for your community, for your family, for yourself, for your students, for this amazing profession, and for being with us today. Thank you all. Enjoy Tiffany's keynote, and we hope to see you soon.